Things could potentially get real crazy right now in Charlotte because I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that teams are monitoring the Charlotte Hornets. Rival teams, I don't know who their rivals are because Hornets have been kind of crazy. They are very curious about Charlotte's level of urgency after missing playoffs 9 straight seasons. So clearly we trying to break down what does this all mean. Bottom line is there is eyes and antennas on the Charlotte Hornets right about now. People want to know where are people going, what's happening. Are y'all in a rebuild? Because the Hornets do got 1 foot in and 1 foot out of nothing, because they not even scratching the surface of playoff contention. We're going to break this whole report down, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe to Flight Sports. You already know what it is. Let's get into it, y'all. Teams, I repeat, are monitoring the Charlotte Hornets activities ahead of this 2025 draft. The Hornets, this is a report. People are saying that the Hornets took a patient approach at the trade deadline, and opposing teams want to know their level of urgency this entire off season. So this is going to be interesting because the Charlotte Hornets a couple of years ago, back, it wasn't too long ago, it was what, 21, 22. They was in the play-in tournament. They seemed like they was on the cusp of some greatness. You see where Cleveland is right now. You see where Detroit is right about now. People want to know why in the hell hasn't Charlotte reached that point? Even you could go into New York. These teams wasn't these juggernauts and playoff, it wasn't like this. I'm gonna throw Indiana in the mix. Why hasn't Charlotte been able to propel themselves like those teams? Clearly is an organizational situation, because they are not putting the level of talent on the floor like these other teams are putting on the floor. And that could go back to the draft because they've had some wasted drafts. We about to get into that as well, ladies and gentlemen. Is numerous reasons why the Charlotte Hornets are in this position. But what doorstep this falls on. LaMelo Ball, MB1, the one of one, the face of the franchise. People want to know what's up with him. Maybe Lonzo Ball. And listen, I'm going live tonight, so make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be breaking all this down. Lonzo Ball, rung the fire alarm, and really has Charlotte in a frenzy. And I'm telling you right about now, maybe Lonzo know a little something that we don't know. Now all of a sudden teams want to know what's happening with Charlotte. They are inquiring about the services of LaMelo Ball, MB1, the one of one. Listen, the San Antonio Spurs, they didn't want to get De'Aaron Fox. That was a secondary option. They wanted to pair Wendy with LaMelo Ball. You understand? That's who the guy they wanted. And a lot of people are looking at LaMelo and they are looking at Tyrese Halliburton. They are looking at Anthony Edwards and they are saying, hey, this man won Rookie of the Year. Let's put him in our system. Maybe we can experience the level of success these other guys are experiencing. Because clearly, I repeat, the Charlotte Hornets situation is an organizational situation, y'all. You understand? And that just trickles down to the players and the personnel. I'm not gonna let my foot off of that because they fired James Borrego. That has shown to be a terrible mistake. And people was clamoring for James Borrego to be fired. But they have not have replaced him with a worthy replacement. Bringing back Steve Clifford. Come on, that seemed like that was charity work. What they do. What in the sense of urgency? This is why teams are gauging the urgency of a team that has been missed the playoffs. They are on like one of the biggest streaks right now. You know, um, how could you hire a rookie head coach with a level of urgency like that? There's no level of urgency for Charlotte. They talking all this nonsense. They hire a first time, president, GM. They hire a new coach. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. I don't know what's happening with Charlotte, but it's looking like they about to just it's over. And LaMelo really need to start looking elsewhere. They are already starting to start the train on LaMelo. Trade rumors is about to start going off. You understand? The Hornets are going to move LaMelo. It's just all a matter of when, because they're not going to add anything. Clear as day, their best bet is the draft. That's how they're looking to improve this roster. And that's looking like it's going to be VJ Edgecombe. They're not even going to even get the guy that we want in Ace Bailey, who would just fit perfectly in this Hornet system. That doesn't seem like that's going to happen with all of the stuff that's going on. But like I said, the Hornets, they haven't done anything to show you that they want to win. I mean, they got Nurkic. I mean, this season was really a wash, in the things that they did. They traded Martin, they traded Nicic. It is a lot that went on. The failed trade, the Hornets just received very bad luck. That trade, they got rescinded, for Mark Williams, where they was going to bring back talent. That was actually probably going to be a deal that the Hornets actually won, and they wasn't able to get that done. So that was bad for Charlotte. But I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, man. It's time to really roll your sleeves up, like I told the people before, because it's only a matter of time before one of these guys are out the door. It's just point blank period. It's only a matter of time. These teams want a Miles Bridges on it. I'm just telling you right now, people want that. But at the end of the day, you can't have all of these wasted drafts, that has resulted in where the Hornets are at. Because yeah, you struck gold with Melo. He was the best player available, because in all likelihood, what if they didn't draft LaMelo Ball? What if they, got somebody else? What if they got James Wiseman? This is what because that's what I'm trying to tell you. The draft should have never went how it went. They should have never even had LaMelo. They should have had Wiseman. And at the time, I heard Charlotte wanted Wiseman. But it is what it is. LaMelo fell into their laps. Brandon Miller fell into their laps. Every other draft has really seemed to be a head scratcher. That 2021 draft, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a wash. That was a wasted draft, a complete failure. In drafting James Bouknight, 11th, Kai Jones, 19, JT Thor, 37th, Scotty Lewis, 56. Do you see these picks, 11, 19, and 37? The Hornets supposed to strike gold. That was just in 21, y'all. We in 25. Bouknight's supposed to be a key focal point of this team. James Bouknight is somewhere stashed away in the G League. This is what has happened to the Charlotte Hornets. This is why teams want to know what in the hell is going on. And I'm telling you right now, it won't be nothing but a matter of time before we hear about something going on with LaMelo Ball getting up out of there. Something is about to happen with Charlotte. And I'm telling you, something's about to go down. I'm just telling you, they either going to trade LaMelo, or they bringing in something crazy. Can they make a move for Zion Williamson? Can they? What are they trying to do? Teams want to know what's happening. The Hornets have two options: either unload your veterans, or you start and retool and go get a big piece. And people are waiting. And only time will tell. The draft about to come up. It's Flight Sports. Make sure you stay tuned. Hit the like button, and most definitely hit the subscribe button. You already know what it is. Peace and love.